Hi, and so it's been a week since I got back from Manchester, and I'm going to haul the few volumes that I picked up whilst I was there. I ended up getting 6, so I did not go over my limit. I picked up 5 in Traveling Man and 1 in Forbidden Planet. And then I also picked up a couple of blu-rays, which I'll be showing as well. This will just be like a quick haul. Oh, Owen. So first, I'll show the blu-rays that I picked up. I mean, the majority of what I got was Pop Mart figures, but I can't really show those because I've already displayed them all and put them all away. So I'll just be doing the manga here. So I picked up Buddy Daddies on Blu-ray. I didn't even realise this got a release until I saw it in HMV. Yeah, I just had to pick it up because although it is on Crunchyroll, I do love this series. It's great. So I just had to pick it up. It's about 2 hitmen who end up having to take in a little girl after they kill her father. And now they have to try and find her mother. And while they look for her, they have to look after her. Yeah, it's very cute and it's funny, and yeah, it's a great series. If you hadn't seen Buddy Daddies, I would recommend it. It technically is not a BL, but it kind of has a bit of those vibes. And the other Blu-ray I picked up, which I also didn't realise got a release, is Wolfgirl and Black Prince. And this one isn't actually on Crunchyroll, so I was happy to see that it did get a release. I watched it years ago via other means, and I read the manga, but yeah, I'm glad to see some more shoujo getting Blu-ray releases in the UK because we don't really see that many. Like, obviously got Fruits Basket, Yona, and Skip Beat, and a few other ones, but you don't really see that many getting Blu-ray releases, so I'm glad that this one got picked up, and I wanted to support it, and I did like the series, so yeah, I grabbed it. So they were the Blu-rays I picked up, and I'll go over the manga I picked up. As I say, I was good, and I stuck to my rule of 6. So I got Glasses with a Chance of Delinquent Volume 2. This is the next volume that I needed, and I saw it on the shelf, and I thought, why not grab this one? I enjoyed Volume 1. It's a high school shoujo rom-com with a girl who hates delinquents, and this guy who used to be a delinquent, but it kind of still acts like one, even though he isn't one anymore. But yeah, I enjoyed Volume 1, and when I saw Volume 2, I thought, yeah, I'll pick this one up. And then the next one I grabbed was a BL called Ask and You Will Receive. This is one of the ones that I got recommended to me a while ago when I was doing the Pride readathon back in June. I asked for friends' recommendations for that prompt, and this is one of them that got recommended to me, but this one wasn't the one that ended up getting picked. But I did like the sound of it, so I thought, since it was recommended and I saw it there on the shelf, I thought, yeah, why not grab it? So yeah, it's about a playboy, and he's like living a double life. It's a BL anyway. I think I did actually skim through this one on the train back from Manchester, which probably wasn't a good idea to be looking at this in public because it's very explicit and it was completely uncensored, and it's just a very good job no one was sitting behind us. And so they couldn't like peek through the chairs and see it. But yeah, I haven't read this one yet, but yeah, it was recommended and I like the sound of it. Next, I have read this one. I've actually read 2 of these. I picked up the first volume of Tamon's B-side. This one I picked up because it's a Hanatime title, and I see it in the Hanatime magazines because I have a few of those. I see chapters of it in there. And also there's an anime coming out for this in January. The trailer for it actually just dropped today. It's about a girl who's absolutely obsessed with this idol called Tamon. And on stage he's like a flirt, and he's like super outgoing, and and then she works as a housekeeper, and she gets put on a job, and it turns out to be his house. And in actuality, his actual self is like moody and gloomy and depressed, and it's a vast contrast between his two selves, and he kind of has to switch on to go on stage. So it's his B side when he's on stage and his normal side when he's at home. Anyway, she starts working as his housekeeper and like helps him decide not to quit. Yeah, it was quite funny. I enjoyed this first volume, and I will pick up more. I did want to pick up at least the first 2 volumes, but they only had 1 and 3 in Traveling Man, and in Forbidden Planet they only had 3. No, I had 2, so I just grabbed the first one and I'll pick up the second one online at some point. But yeah, I did enjoy this first volume. Next, this is the one I picked up in... This is the only volume I picked up in Forbidden Planet. Forbidden Planet didn't have the best selection when it came to stuff other than like Shonen Jump and stuff. But they did have this, so I picked it up, and that is The Ayakashi Hunter's Tainted Bride, Volume 3. I really loved the first 2 volumes, and there I saw Volume 3 on the shelf, and I was like, I've had 5 volumes from Traveling Man. I thought I am allowed 1 more if I find one, and I found this, and I was like, yep, I'm gonna grab that one. Because I do really enjoy this series, and I didn't expect them to have Volume 3. This is like the only volume of this that they had. They had like 3 copies of it. But yeah, it's one of the few things they had there that I actually wanted to pick up, and I really love this series. Next, the next 2 are, well, I don't think this one's actually a manhwa. I think this is an OEL, but it's a webtoon, so it kind of looks like a manhwa. And that's Werewolves Going Crazy Over Me, Volume 1. This is a steamship title. It wasn't plastic wrapped, so I don't think it's going to be like that explicit. But yeah, this one's about a single mother who has a daughter who has a chronic illness, and she's like working at a bar to try and make enough money for her medication. And then she meets this guy who's like collapsed in an alleyway, and he's like, I think he's a werewolf based on the title, and he's kind of drawn to her, and it is in colour. And like, yeah, I think there's a lot of werewolves that are kind of drawn to her, but yeah, it was a steamship title, which is why I picked it up. And the last one I picked up is also, this one is a manhwa. Also, something with this one is I have no idea who the author is, because it just says by Manga Comics, and that's the website that it was published on. It doesn't actually say anything about who actually wrote it. It just says Manga Comics, so I don't actually know who wrote this one, or what country they're actually from, to confirm that it is OEL, which I think it is, because their names are like Olivia and Damien. So I don't think it's Korean. Or maybe it is and it just doesn't take place in Korea. I don't know. I say I can't really find out because it doesn't say who wrote it. And this last one I think is a manhwa. This is an Ise Press. This is Radio Storm. This is like a BL post-apocalyptic series. I have read this one. I really like this one actually. It's set in like some sort of war-torn country. Like the country is at war, but we don't know why or with who. Because obviously the main character says that he learned it in school, but he doesn't really remember because he didn't pay attention. So us as readers have no idea what this war's about. But recently there's been like this outbreak of this sort of virus, which when it infects people, it puts them in immense pain and then turns them in a kind of violent. They're not really zombies, but it makes them really violent and aggressive. And he has an ability called a core, and core users are sent to this academy where they're kept there until they... It says that eventually they do get sent to war, but until then they're all in this academy and they all have different cores with different abilities, and the main character's ability is that he smells like plants. And so he is bullied because of this, and he doesn't really fit in. And he's informed of this virus that's going around, and that as a core user, he is immune. But core users get their powers from somebody called a caller. And they like draw their psychic energy to order to use their powers. And the caller is kind of just a random person. They don't know who they are. So his caller is this guy. And he's sent out on a mission to find his caller. Because if his caller gets infected with the virus, it will also infect him. Which is kind of the only way he could get it. Because he'll be immune otherwise. So now he's on a journey in this like war-torn, virus-infected world, trying to find this guy who he's never met and like bring him back to the academy where he'll be safe from getting infected. But it's very interesting, this one, and there's like some mysteries going around and like questions about what could possibly be going on, because I'm pretty sure the people at the academy have things that they are not telling him, and like I think they have ulterior motives and stuff. It was super interesting. I would highly recommend this one if you want like a BL with like that isn't just like a romance. It's also very interesting because although it is a manhwa, it is black and white. I mean, a lot of older manhwa were black and white, but a lot of the newer ones tend to be in colour. But it does have like splashes of colour throughout. So though the majority of it is black and white, you tend to see like a bit of colour here and there. Like, and the guy's eyes, if I can find it. Yeah, his eyes tend to be in colour most of the time. And when he unleashes his scent, you tend to get a bit of green colouring in the background of to like show that he's releasing his scent. So yeah, I found that interesting to have the like black and white with hints of colour. I haven't really seen that very often in series. I know there's like a couple others that do it. But yeah, that's all the manga, manhwa and DVDs that I picked up while in Manchester. As I didn't really get much, because I did limit myself and I was good and I kept to that limit. And the majority of what I bought was, as I say, Pop Mart, because that was the main reason we went to Manchester's, because it's like the closest Pop Mart store to where I am. I mean, it's still like a 3-hour train journey away, but it's the closest one to me, so and obviously we really wanted to go, so that was the main reason, and that's the main part of what I bought. But yeah, I did want to grab some manga too, so yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be back for another one probably when I do my reading log next month, and then I'll have a correction tour, and yeah. Bye bye.